You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Podcast as we are here to discuss the 100, which is rattling towards its knockout phase. We know who's going to be there on the men's side. We're basically there on the women's side. We'll be talking about all of that. Is the three-peat on for the team that will soon be formally known as the Oval Invincibles? I'm Jack Hope. I'm joined by Max Rowe-Brown. How are you doing, Max?
Hello, yeah, I'm very well, thank you. But as you alluded to, Jack, can't help but feel a fairly strong sense of disappointment that the Oval Invincibles, although not the best name in the history of cricket or even cricket franchises, soon to be no more. MI London, perhaps coming in, might even lose the beautiful pale green and pink number that they splash and adorn the Oval with, which would also be a shame because blue and gold's nice and all, but that kit, it's iconic.
Yeah, they had a good range of kits, and I think, as I understand it, at least a couple of them are just going to be blue versions of, well, they'll be blue and sort of versions of the IPL franchises kits that they're in partnership or owned by, which is the thing. We will be talking 100. In addition to that, we've got some Justin Langer action. He's stuck his nose in. England need killer instinct for Ashes, is what Justin Langer says. So we'll be, discussing that in part 2. And Cheteshwar Pujara has hung up the spikes. An Indian legend, a cricket legend, one of the modern greats.
A cricket podcast legend.
I think we have an interview with Pujara, of course. Yeah, friend of the show, Cheteshwar Pujara, has hung up the spikes. So we'll be talking about what we made of that as well. Before we get going, just a reminder to click like and subscribe to the Cricket Podcast. Make sure you tell all your friends. Soon, England will be playing again, and we'll have some stuff that is not 100 related. So if you are, if you're one of the more casual watchers of the 100, say, and a little bit more interested when international cricket's on, don't fear. That's coming back, and then obviously we'll be onto the Ashes. So make sure
only cover the 100 every day,
year round,
for an entire calendar year. It's only the 100.
100 episodes on the 100 a year.
That would be so hard.
Imagine if you did 100 for each innings, 200,
Oof.
Or 100 for each innings of the doubleheader, 400.
That would be tough in the year for that.
Yeah, they have to be doubling up. Look, we're doing all of that. Show notes for some extra stuff as well. Max, let's talk through the 100. We'll do the men's side first, where I can exclusively reveal that the table is pretty much fixed at this point. The Oval Invincibles men, they are top. They've won 6 out of their 8 games. There's no more group matches to play. They have a net run rate, which is virtually unassailable. They will skip the semi-final and make their way to Lords in not that long amount of time, just a few days' time. Yeah. The Trent Rockets and Northern Superchargers, they are the second place and third place men's team. They'll be going through to the semi-finals. It doesn't really matter whether they win or lose the game.
They're battling it out for the eventuality of rain on Saturday, of which there is not very much forecast. So, yeah, pointless.
And that means Birmingham, Southern, London Spirit, Welsh Fire, and Manchester Originals will all be going home before the weekend, probably in tears. On the women's side, Max, it's pretty much a similar state of affairs. Southern Brave women have won 7 from 7. They are top. They're through. They'll be in the final. Northern Superchargers and London Spirit have unassailable positions in second and third, and will be in the semi-final, which takes place on Friday, I believe, at the Oval, which means Manchester, Trent, Oval, Birmingham, and the Welsh Fire women will all go home, which is sad. Sad for them. Not a good year for Birmingham all round. Not a good year for the Welsh team. Again, every year is a bad year for the Welsh.
Last year, the Welsh women's team topped the table.
Well, okay.
Didn't do it when it mattered, but they topped the table.
They got one win this year.
Yes, that is correct. It was looking like none for a bit as well.
And the Manchester Originals knocked out on both sides as well. Although the women's team did kind of okay, went 4-4. Max, what are the big stories from the 100? Then we've got things that's going on. The Oval Invincibles going for a three-peat. We've got Zampa Gate. Will he be allowed to come in for the final? I mean, it appears that he will. Rashid Khan out, Zampa in. Probably a fairish trade, even though Rashid Khan's really good. Joe Root, he's been scoring lots of runs, and maybe a lack of drama as another talking point. Where would you like to start?
Yeah. Should we start with Zampa? You started with Zampa,
yes.
So why not? So Rashid Khan has left the Oval Invincibles to join up with the Afghanistan squad. They've got a tri-series in the UAE, I think, before they get going with their Asia Cup campaign. So he's gone. Noor Ahmed left a little while ago as well on the Manchester Originals side. He was replaced by Ish Sodi, but that was for the last two group games. The difference here, Rashid Khan's gone, and the Oval Invincibles haven't replaced him yet. But they were looking to get in Adam Zampa for the knockout stages where he needed. Obviously, it'll just be the final because they won't be playing in the eliminator. So I suppose, assuming all goes through, which I think is the expectation, is it good for a competition for a team to just get a guy in for the final?
No, probably not. It
wasn't a leading question by any means.
Look, if there's any mitigation here, you can say that Zampa played for them last year, and that it is not, a complete, new boy.
He also played for Surrey and Blast, if that's worth anything. I mean, I guess they're affiliated, aren't they? So
he's been there or thereabouts over the last while. I don't think it really benefits anyone. I don't think it particularly lends kind of degree of seriousness to the whole affair when you bring a player in for the last match. It's how cricket is, right? Outside of the IPL, players do come and go from all of these franchise tournaments. And I think for me personally, and there are other opinions available, it's one of the things that makes the whole thing a little bit farcical sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as bad as I think it was Lewis Deploy, and I'm sorry if it isn't, and I'm using him as an incorrect example, who got brought into the ILT20 for a playoff game, thought he was playing for one team, got to the ground, and they said, "Oh, actually, you need to play for the other team." It's not as sort of ridiculous as that, but it's closer to that than a real team. I know they aren't real teams, and I know that it is in large part sort of an effective marketing exercise aimed at filling grounds and selling beers. Well, not too many beers, some beers to people and hot dogs to children and stuff. And that, probably the people that actually do care, who I would venture are mainly young people, probably under the age of 18, who did not have, who did not identify with any of the pre-100 sporting entities in cricket. Probably won't care. They'll probably be like, "Great, we've got Zampa back. That's great." That's if any of them
might not even know.
There's nothing at all. Yeah, there'll be a decent chunk of the people who are at the final in the stadium at Lord's who will see Zampa bowl and have absolutely no idea that he didn't play a single game for them. They won't know who he is. They won't know who Rashid Khan is. Just some Australian bloke with a mullet. Does he even have the mullet anymore? Like the most recognisable thing about him, I don't think he does have. So
glasses. He's still got the shades.
Like for me, it makes the whole thing seem even more unserious than it is. And
I think
I would rather they didn't.
It's just a symptom of the whole thing, isn't it? I suppose the thing I think that makes it most troublesome in a way is that a lot of these changes have been lined up in advance, I guess. Like, the Asodi one or whoever it is, you get, okay, this person's available for the first 4 games, and this person we're going to get in to replace them for the back end, because we know there's international commitments, and finding a window where just the 100 is the most important thing for anyone in cricket is obviously a nonsense concept. So that's not going to happen, and I guess that's how it all works in franchise cricket that isn't the IPL, because there's so much money involved. But when it comes to someone's gone, you haven't actually replaced them for 2 games at the end of the group stage, and then you're just like, well, we're just trying to get this guy in for the final. That's where it starts, I think, to look a bit more stupid. Like the swap ins and swap outs halfway through the competition happen all the time, but yeah, it's when it comes to like almost like an afterthought, it does look a bit silly. But you're right, it's just like part of these. I think they're not real teams is about the right way to describe it, right? Like you think about people who support a football club or I don't know, even an NFL franchise, right? I mean, there's drafts and things, and teams change the whole time, but you kind of have you can offer contracts and people stick around for a long time, and there's trades and transfers and whatever. But this is literally just like a bunch of people thrown together halfway through the competition. It's a different bunch of people, but they're all wearing a kind of weird pale green. So they're the team that you have to like. And that's franchise cricket. And
that's the sort of long and short of it. On the other hand, though, look, we've done the bad. The good, I think, from the last
so we get
week,
to see Adam Zampa in the final.
That is a good thing. Zampa's like a really fun bowler to watch. It's not a trivial thing to get maybe the best leg spinner in the world in for the final. Like it's a good thing that is happening from a seeing good players perspective. I was going to say Joe Root though.
Yes.
One of the things the tournaments probably lacked this year, or did lack, were any of the big names of English cricket really turning up and doing anything. They're sort of scattered around. Brooks got a few runs, to be fair. I don't think we can. Brooks done a few bits, and the Currans have played well for overall, albeit they probably aren't major stars in English cricket,
are they? No.
Yeah, we've not had. Stokes isn't playing. Who are the other big names? Mark Wood not playing. Anderson, still a big name in English cricket, played a couple of matches. I think he's back tonight. Probably not really the tournament for him, but didn't do anything. Yeah, Duckett not done anything. Butler not pulled up any trees. I think he's got a couple of 50s. Jofra Archer taken a few wickets, but nothing sort of massive.
The most notable thing I can think of that Jofra Archer done is get absolutely smoked for one of the longest sixes I've seen by Kane Williamson on Saturday.
Yeah. So all of that, I think it is a good thing that I think if you're from an England point of view, from an England not an England point of view, but from a point of view of supporting the tournament that is in England with English players, I think it's really good that Jordan Cox has had like a monster year, and the breakout star, the big man of the tournament is English, isn't a major name, and is maybe builds a bit of a platform for himself off the back of this. And I think that Root coming to the party and playing an innings or two that have changed games also gives the tournament a little bit of a narrative structure that it lacked. Now Joe Root has the chance to do it again in a semi-final and maybe do something in a final, and that's good. Like Joe Root, by miles in English cricket, of the English players in this tournament, is the big name. Like our international audience might think that Joss Butler's up there or something, but the divide in English cricket is so stark between people who support the Test team basically and people who might peripherally watch a little bit of white ball cricket. The big names are Stokes, then Root. Stokes isn't playing, Root is playing. It is good, and I've enjoyed it, Max. Joe Root scoring some runs. What have you made of Joe? I didn't know he had it in his locker necessarily.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it, about Joe Root? There's a lot of chat about Joe Root, and he's had the odd contract, hasn't he, with in the IPL, but never really got much of an opportunity because the theory is that he doesn't score quickly enough. Meanwhile, people will pick up Kane Williamson and Steve Smith all the time, but for some reason, Joe Root has this sort of number on his head that he doesn't do it. Maybe because he doesn't, I suppose, throw himself into T20 cricket as much as some of the other guys, and maybe he does actually score a little bit slower. But he's added new dimensions to his game, notably the old root scoop, the reverse lap, whatever it is that you want to call it, that he's broken out in Test matches. It's a great option in T20 as well, and we've seen a few examples of that, and it's been excellent to watch. But there's still a role for someone who knits innings together, even in a game that's not quite 2020. There's still a role for someone to just keep things moving, and his ability to score off almost every ball it's valuable, right? Like, it's all very well being able to hit sixes and fours for fun, but if you hit sixes and then the next three balls are dots, not much benefit of doing that over being able to constantly find the gaps and work field. So there's a skill set for Joe Root in T20 cricket. We haven't seen a lot of it, but it's nice to see him, and he looks happy as well doing it, which is, I always like our smiley Joe Root. That makes me feel good about the world when Joe Root's happy.
Yeah, and I just feel like the record. Like, I'm not saying that Joe Root has had an all-time great season. He's averaging 33, striking at 141, which is sort of like probably somewhat above average. Yeah, like it's decent. It's not. There's a bunch of names, and we talked about Jordan Cox averaging 65, striking at 180. Bairstow's had a good year, 40, 164. Zach Crawley, 56, 100.
Yeah, didn't even mention him. He's a big name in English cricket, mainly because the name is why are you still in the England team? But
yeah, there's so like what Root style isn't necessarily pull up any trees, but it does for what is a confected tournament. It does help, frankly, if Joe Root is doing things, because people know who he is,
especially when you consider like the first iteration of the 100 and what it was all about. Each team got given an iconic England player, didn't they? And Joe Root was one of the iconic England players. It was like, well, half these guys aren't even playing in the tournament, but this is your icon. So Trent Rockets icon, he's still Joe Root, and nice to see them actually do something.
Yeah, I have a feeling he got dropped in one of the iterations of the 100. Well, I didn't really played 2 games and. Then went for a rest. So yeah, good to see from him. Max, the three-peat. I think that's the final question on the men's side. Is it on?
Oh, it's absolutely on. When you think about the fact that the Oval team is first of all, straight into the final, so they don't have to play the eliminator. That's always a bonus, having the extra bit of rest and not having to play 2 games and win 2 in a row to win. And the fact that they have, apart from the couple of games that they've lost, you look at the net run rate and they have absolutely dominated the teams that they've beaten. I suppose the flip side, obviously no Rashid Khan. He's been integral in taking 12 wickets for Oval. So big shoes for old Zamps to fill if he gets there. And, one of the potential teams they meet in the final are Northern Superchargers, who beat them on Saturday. So, that's a concern perhaps. And Trent Rockets, they did, they looked like running them close until that nonsense 51 runs in 10 balls that Oval put together with to turn things around in that game. So yeah, there'll be concerns. It's a one-off. It's always difficult, but I mean, I don't think they could be in much of a better position to put the three-peat together. I think it would be foolish not to back them with the form that the batting side's in. And actually, if you look at the bowling, they've got 4 guys who've taken more than 10 wickets. Like 3 of the top 5 wicket takers are Oval Invincibles players. So they're doing it on both sides of the game, and that's super important for consistency and winning tournaments, right? Like teams make finals and they get success purely on one facet of their game at times, but Oval have been fairly impressive on both sides. So they've got multiple ways of winning a game of cricket. They've done it before. They know what they're doing. So they'll be tough to stop.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. I think it would be fair. If fair is a thing in sport, if they did win it. On the women's side, Max, on the women's side, we've got a similarly dominant team in the Southern Brave, who have won 7 from 7. Can either the Northern Superchargers or the London Spirit stop them?
I mean, yeah, probably, because they don't feel like they've been tested. There was, I think, right early on in the tournament, they won a last baller, did they, against Welsh Fire, Southern Brave, and then since then it's been a canter, right? Like they've won games with a few balls to spare, but it's been with like 8 wickets, 6 wickets. They've barely had to try, and I think they're a good side. They've got a good squad, but I think you get a couple of early wickets up top, and you could put them under pressure. So I think they'll be they're definitely beatable. Again, it's a short form game of cricket. Like it only takes a few things to go one way, and it can get away from you. But again, like when you look at a side that has played 7 and won 7 without really trying, it does make it does make you wonder what you can do. And I think like the consistency with the bat that Southern Brave have got is going to be tricky for any side to overcome. You look at you got Wyatt Hodge, Wolfart, Bouchier, like they're big names in the top of that order, and they're solid. They're a solid side.
The only other thing I got on the 100 is the kind of lack of Flintoff action that we've seen. So
Freddie or Rocky?
Well, Rocky I think went away, didn't he? But Freddie is the Northern Superchargers, and there's another Flintoff, not Rocky, the other one, the older brother of Rocky, who's I think done some stuff for Lancashire in the One Day Cup. But that's a tangent we're not going to go down. There was a little bit of fanfare about Flintoff being announced as the coach for the Northern Superchargers men. Not really heard anything about any of the stuff that he's done, but they have qualified. Is Flintoff the New England coach? I know Pyro's been angling for it, but like this is I think
step aside, Baz. It's over.
Talk to me.
The inevitable. It's the inevitable merry-go-round when England lose every get knocked out of all of the next 3 white ball tournaments in embarrassing fashion, and everyone decides that you just can't have the guy who's in charge of the test team also in charge of the white ball sides. It's too much work. It's not possible. And then we'll go around the usual circus, and it'll be Freddie Flintoff. He's parachuted in. He can do the job because we asked Owen Morgan again, and he still decided he'd rather have lots and lots of money working for Sky. That feels like a fairly possible trajectory, doesn't it? Fairly likely, given what we know about England cricket.
I kind of wouldn't be stunned. I'd like to know a little bit more. I mean, it raised some eyebrows, I think, when he got the job. It sounded a little bit like nepotism. For me personally, I think that Flintoff has done enough in English cricket to be given one of these race favour jobs in charge of a franchise that doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's also
see whether he can do it.
And there's the element of the crash as well, isn't there? The Top Gear crash and everything that went with it. His struggles with coming to terms with that and getting back into the public eye. And I think, you can call it nepotism because I guess arguably there's an element of it, but. In fairness, I suppose it's a nice thing for English cricket to have done to give him something, a way in, and a way back into the fold after all of that. Those documentaries he did on the putting together the cricket team, and that was it Preston that he did that?
Yeah, it was Preston. Yeah.
I mean, that was really good. Like, I really enjoyed that, and it looked like he was, really really having a great time and getting back into cricket. And I think it's almost an extension of that, I suppose, isn't it? It's so it's nice to see him involved. And whether or not that ends up with an England job, I don't know. He might not even want it. It might be too much pressure. But I haven't really got much of an issue with Flintoff getting chucked in with sort of all that background. And like you say, he has done enough in England cricket to warrant a go. Half of the rest of that side are get a go if they want it. So why not?
Yeah, fair. I think that's enough 100 action. We'll bring an update after the knockout stages, I guess, maybe on Sunday night. Away from that, Max, kind of related to the 100. Justin Langer, he's in charge of the what do they call them? The London Spirit men's side.
Yeah,
he has dropped some big quotes. It's going to be a really, really close series. My question for England will be: have you got the killer instincts to finish off a series if you get the chance? What do you think about that, Max? He went on to say some other stuff. Repeated killer instinct again. Do they have the killer instinct, Max? This is now the discussion. The Ashes.
Well, if you got the killer instinct to win the 100, Justin, that's what I would say to you.
No,
clearly not. I to be honest, what I want to do is come at this and be like, the Aussies are clearly rattled. You've got London Spirit, Justin Langer coming out with have you got the killer instinct to put a series to bed when you need to? Clearly, that's the mind games have started 4 months in advance, and there's nerves in Australia. They've just narrowly avoided a home whitewash in an ODI series against South Africa. They're nervous. It's off the back of David Warner, also a London Spirit boy, coming out with the stuff about Joe Root and his surfboard that he needs to put away when he goes to Australia, because imagine how good a player he would have been in Test cricket if he wasn't batting with a surfboard in his leg in his 14,000 runs. So, rattled Aussies and England 5-0. That's what I want to say. Actually, though, I think Justin Langer's probably got a point about the putting the series to bed bit, because you think about it, in England, they go down the whole, we're playing this, we're entertainers, we don't care if we win, we just want to play in the right way, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it kind of fits in with the idea of a team that, could get ahead in the series and let it slip. So I don't think it's certainly not going to be the most insane thing that Justin Langer has ever said, put it that way.
No, it's probably not even in the top 100, is it? Like, there's all that weird stuff about shoes, not grounding yourself. What was it? Elite responsibility? Was that one of his lines? Weird guy.
Yeah.
Weird guy. But yeah, he's probably not wrong. I mean, he's got a point. Last Ashes series, 2-2. England doing some weird stuff to probably not win that with declarations. Bairstow going walkies, a little bit unlucky with the rain. And then the recent series with India, where they had a really, really good chance to win that 3-1 in the final test. And, Siraj had a part to say in it, but would a team with the killer instinct have won that match? Yes, they probably would. I think another way to look at it, I reckon, is take the killer instinct out of it, and if you just said, are England good enough to finish it off? And the answer to that might be no. I'm not absolutely sure. Like, I know that Langer obviously has this belief in kind of mentality and stuff, and that partly probably comes from the path he walked as a player. But he was also really, really good, and I don't know. He might not have looked really, really good in comparison with, say, Ricky Ponting, who he batted next to in the same in the same side, but he clearly was a really, really good player. I don't know if England are a really, really good test team. I think they're a good test team with a handful of exceptional players and a couple of absolute duffers in any given 11. So I would actually rephrase
entirely self-inflicted duffers as well.
Yeah, and I think when we did our post India series chat, I think we are we are expecting something like 3-1 Australia.
Yeah,
We think England can win Test matches, but probably cannot win.
yeah. I think respectable defeat is the
Yeah, and
the hope.
Would you take that? Would you take respectable defeat? I think is the question.
Yeah. Well, I think England probably would, wouldn't they? If as long as they did it playing the right way. I'd take it. I want moments of joy. That's what I want from an Ashes series, right? I think there's probably two things I want from an Ashes series. One of them is to not turn it on at 11:30 on Christmas Christmas Day evening and see England have lost 3 wickets in the first 2 overs. And the other one is just sort of some moments to cling on to believe that one day we may end up beating Australia in Australia again. That's
what I would like is 5-0. 5-0 to England. That's what I want.
Well, there's that.
Right.
Or actually, sorry, no. A third thing: loads of people getting really angry about something completely pointless, or like Stuart Broad not walking when he's edged one to first slip, or something like that. That kind of flare up. You need one of those as well.
I think it would be. I think if you're going to pick just a thing that could happen, it would be nice if England just demolished Australia on Boxing Day.
Yeah,
that's probably the peak viewing figures. If the rest of the series they're rubbish, doesn't matter. Like people will be asleep. It's not the end
400 for none at tea.
Yeah, but like it would be great if the first session, what is it? It's like 11 p.m. till 1 in the morning or something like that. On is it Christmas Day in this country? Yeah. No, you're into your second crate of.
I think I will have another slice of cheese and glass of port. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And Zach Crawley scores a century before lunch.
Yeah. Well, last time round, it was Sam Consus reverse ramping Jasprit Bumrah on Boxing Day morning.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a great way to round off Christmas Day. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
More of that.
So good. Max, finally, not loads to talk about in the world of cricket this week, but there was a big.
We're not doing a deep dive on the Asia Cup?
We're not. We should talk about the Asia Cup, though. Maybe we'll finish off on a little bit of Asia Cup action. But before we do that, Cheteshwar Pujara saying goodbye to the game. Max, what's his legacy? What will be his epitaph?
His legacy will obviously be his iconic interview with the Cricket Podcast that he did a year and a half ago, or whenever it was now. Well, Pujara will always be remembered as an obdurate fellow, won't he, with the bat, and a man who I think is probably underrated in terms of his cricketing career. I mean, he ended up with just south of 7,200 test runs at an average of 43.6. But I think that what that doesn't say is that he's he got them fairly slowly, right? He's not getting into an England baseball side, but it doesn't tell you that he got those runs, in fairly trying circumstances. Nearly averaged 40 in England, nearly averaged 40 in New Zealand away, averaged 50 nearly in Australia. So, or against Australia rather. So, and in Australia indeed 47. So he's done it in tough places as well as racking them up at home and in Bangladesh. Sure, but no, he's not just a home bully, right? He did it. He's done it against all different teams. Sure, not the flashiest, but he was a pretty important part of making that India side solid and turning it the India Test side, being part of an India Test side that became pretty dominant. With Kohli around him and the options with the ball that they had, he was part of that. It wasn't that he wasn't the star of the show, so to speak. But I think without him, and I think you probably put someone like Rahane in that category as well. Without him, maybe. It was it was a slightly flimsier side, and he was part of what made that India side good. And I think he should be appreciated for his efforts a little more than he sometimes is, I think. A lot of time with Pujara, and also a really nice guy.
He's a really nice guy. Can confirm that. Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with all of that. I think might not have been the main man, but I think it's quite difficult to see how that India team achieved what they did without Pujara in it. I think there's a whole suitcase full of great Indian batsmen, and Pujara might not be like right at the top of the list. Probably not even their greatest number 3 ever, right? Like Dravid probably takes that, I would say.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that team is anywhere near as good without the solidity he provided. And obviously he has that amazing series away, a couple of amazing series really away in Australia, to really hang his hat on. Like there is an argument that he was India's player of the series. Rishabh Pant, there's an argument for him too, but there's definitely an argument for Pujara, the player of the series, in maybe India's best away series victory, which is a hell of an achievement by itself. Then you throw in, 100 Test matches, top score 206, 7,000 Test runs, and 16,000 balls faced, which is just a ridiculous number of deliveries to have been out in the middle for. Great career, and I think we'll miss him. Max, anything on the Asia Cup? The only thing I've got on it is that the format is kind of as hilarious as usual. It's T20 this year, so it's like that's the actual cricketing format they're going to play. 2 groups of 8, then another group of 4. Two groups of 4, then another group of 4, basically to guarantee as much India v Pakistan cricket as possible. It's been confirmed that those fixtures will go ahead by the governments involved, and there may be a final as well between India and Pakistan. It didn't quite work out last time. I think it kind of went wrong, the master plan. But are we in for a famous trilogy or not?
No. Pakistan aren't getting to the final. They're pants. They don't even have an A player, do they? We went through that. I think it'll be a little bit farcical, won't it? I mean, that you've got the Group A, India. Yeah, also the Group A, like you said, make the whole thing about the trilogy. Group A, India, Oman, Pakistan, and the UAE. Now, Pakistan are bad, but they are going to get through that group. So we will see India, Pakistan happen twice. But like that much we do know. But I suppose the quote unquote group of death would be Group B with Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Hong Kong, and Sri Lanka. So, one of the big boys will be missing out from there. And then it's T20, isn't it? So Pakistan, they can't play T20 cricket properly. They're still playing. Are they still got Rizwan and Babar? Or have they finally moved on? Like,
I think they're bottom both. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So I quite fancy an Afghanistan India final. That's where I'd put my money.
That'd be quite a good final. That's Afghanistan won something. Definitely be watching a little bit of that. Quite looking forward to the Asia Cup. I think it's a good. Like I rank the Asia Cup above the Champions Trophy. Like I just did not understand the point of that whole tournament. Like, what is the point of the Champions Trophy? Well, it's not the champion of anything, is it? Like,
no. I suppose the thing with when the Champions Trophy was big, we didn't have a T20 World Cup, did we? That was, I think, the prevalence of the T20 World Cup and the fact that there seems to be about 3 every 5 years at the moment does mean that the Champions Trophy is kind of pointless. I do get you. I do get you there.
Do we have another T20 World Cup next year? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Max, I think that's everything. Let's wrap up. Thanks for listening, everyone. Do make sure you click like and subscribe wherever you are listening, watching. Maybe you're reading the transcript. I don't know. Maybe a freak. Tell your friends. Head to the show notes for more links, and patreon.com/the cricket pod is where you should go if you want to support us directly. Goodbye.
Goodbye.